Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. I hope you're having a good summer. I know it's a long summer until Alabama and Duke play in Atlanta. We got some coverage on BamaInsider.com, so go to the website, read the coverage. You got some summer enrollees checking in around May 27th, May 28th. We're also running a 19 for 19 on BamaInsider.com. What's a 19 for 19? Well, BamaInsider.com is answering 19 important questions concerning the 2019 season. Today, our team writer, Tony Ncaa, kicks it off with a simple question. Can anything slow down Nick Saban? Now, to read the full story, go to BamaInsider.com. I'm going to read some excerpts on this program. But like I said, if you want the full scoop, if you want to dive in and be a daily customer, we would certainly appreciate the opportunity to earn your business at BamaInsider.com. You can head to the website to read the full story. Kirby Smart wasn't surprised one bit. The Georgia head football coach shook his head when asked about Nick Saban's quick recovery from hip replacement surgery last month. Smart, a longtime assistant under Nick Saban at Alabama, knows better than to doubt the six-time national championship winner. So when the news came out that Saban was back to work just 2 days after surgery on April 22nd, it didn't come as a shock. That does not surprise me at all, Smart said during the Regions Pro-Am in Birmingham, Alabama last week. It disappoints me, actually, that it wasn't one day. With him, I can recall a lot of times that no matter what was going on around him, he has an uncanny ability to focus and concentrate. He enjoys what he does. He's passionate about his work. A little hip surgery isn't going to stop him. That's coming from Kirby Smart during the Regions Pro-Am. Now think about that. Hip surgery on April 22nd, Saban's back at work just a couple days after that. Now, in my opinion, I think the recent loss to Clemson and I think the hip surgery are going to be two key elements to why Saban continues to be king of the mountain in college football. Now, I know a lot of college football analysts are pushing the fact that Dabo Swinney is the next man coming, and rightfully so. What Dabo has done at Clemson is nothing short of fantastic. A lot of people talking about Kirby Smart as well. Yes, Georgia is also climbing the college football mountain. And while Nick Saban didn't win a national championship this past season, the past does not dictate the future. And as you know, Alabama returns an incredible amount of talent to the 2019 season. Should be better than last season. And you pair that up with the schedule that Alabama plays, I think Alabama's going to be healthy most of the season. That's hard to predict. But looking at the schedule, hey, you play Duke, you play New Mexico State, you play Southern Miss, all in the first 3 out of 4 games to start the season. I mean, I like the schedule. And I like Alabama's offense. And we've talked about the defense plenty. Yeah, the secondary is going to have new faces. But you're also going to have new faces as assistant coaches. And the coaches that Nick Saban has added to the staff are going to play a big reason why Alabama might even be untouchable during the 2019 season. Reading a couple excerpts from Tony Ncaa, our team writer's story on can anyone slow down Nick Saban during our 19 for 19. My name is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. If you're interested to be a subscriber and get behind the paywall, go to BamaInsider.com. At checkout, the promo code is simply Roll Tide. Ncaa continues. Simply put, there isn't anyone like Saban. The 67-year-old head football coach is coming off his 11th straight top 10 finish in the AP poll and has led Alabama to the college football playoff in all 5 years of its existence. He is one of 3 active coaches to win a national championship and has twice as many titles as Clemson's Dabo Swinney and Texas A&M's Jimbo Fisher, the other 2 coaches on the list combined. Yeah, I mean, Saban, what he's done at Alabama has still never been done in college football. So Sukalis writes, could coaching changes possibly be a reason that Nick Saban slows down? I mean, that's a good question. But with that question, there's been so many assistant coaches that continue to rotate and continue to leave from Alabama. It's almost like a farm league for the next position with these coaches. Sukalis poses this next question. Coaching changes. That's a good question regarding the assistant coaches leaving Alabama year after year. Could this be a factor that contributes to Nick Saban slowing down? Did it affect Alabama the last couple years? I don't know. I guess it goes back to, is it the X's and the O's or the Jimmies and the Joes, right? And you know Alabama's always going to have the Jimmies and Joes. I mean, continually reloading at every single position. I mean, the depth on this year's team is ridiculous. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of guys that leave after this season, but a lot of guys are coming in that Alabama continues to coach up. Sukalis writes, a year after welcoming 6 assistants, Alabama is ushering in 7 new faces to the staff this offseason. The latest overhaul leaves the Crimson Tide without any of the 9 on-the-field assistants from its last national championship winning team. That is mind-blowing. All the guys that won a title 2 seasons ago, besides Saban, are gone. Right? I mean, where else in college football does this happen? The easy answer is nowhere. It doesn't. And I'm not sure how Clemson has been able to keep their staff intact. Alabama is seriously like a farm league for these college coaches. They dip in 1 year, get the big paycheck, and they're out of here, right? They get the Saban blessing. Yeah, I coached at Alabama, reached a national championship. I know a little bit about the process. I'm gone. It's tough. And to think that Saban, year after year, faces this just doesn't happen 1 year. This happens every single season to Nick Saban. And all he does is come back with a vengeance. Come back with teams that continue to surpass excellence. This year's team is going to do the same thing. Look at the staff that Saban has assembled, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Sukalis continues. While the coaching carousel hasn't hurt Alabama too much, it likely needs to spin at a lower rate in order to maintain success. On early signing day last year, Saban attributed coaching turnover from the Crimson Tide's number 7 finish in the 2018 class. This year, Alabama rebounded, finishing narrowly behind Georgia for the nation's top class. However, this spring, Saban alluded to the fact that the shift in focus towards recruiting might have cost his team a bit on the field. And I think Saban's absolutely right. Look at the way Alabama played from their opener last season against Louisville to the Auburn game, right? Lights out, pretty much untouchable. A lot of people comparing them to one of the greatest college football teams of all time, right? And then during that time between the college signing day, which is now moved up to December 20th, and the SEC championship game, right, when Alabama defeated Georgia, there was a lot of time, a lot of idle time where a lot of these assistant coaches started to think about making moves, right? A lot of guys going to be head coaches, offensive coordinators. And then when Alabama played Oklahoma, I think just straight up Alabama was a better team than Oklahoma. So they didn't really have to dial in to beat the Sooners down in Miami. But I think when you start looking at what happened following the Clemson game and before the Clemson game, Coach Loxley had already taken a job to coach with Maryland. He was still on staff, right? There was rumblings about Loxley taking other assistant coaches. There was rumblings even before the game against Oklahoma that Pete Golding might go to coach Oklahoma's defense. Now that was squashed. There was so much assistant coach talk during a time when Alabama needed to be dialed in, focused for Clemson. And you didn't hear about the assistant talk with Clemson, right? You didn't hear about any of their major assistants taking off to other places, right? I might be wrong, but you didn't. Alabama was losing their offensive coordinator, possibly their wide receiver coach. And then, Dan Enos, he splits off. So, he was talking to people as well. So I think that certainly hurt Alabama against Clemson in the national title game, right? Now, the second factor that Tsoukalas lists in his article that could potentially slow down Saban is the transfer portal. Another good topic for discussion, right? The free agency in college football is here. This is from Tsoukalas' story on BamaInsider.com. Saban's fighting a battle on two fronts. The head coach is losing more and more of his players early to the NFL and now has to navigate through the unpredictable waters steered by the Ncaa transfer portal. This season, Saban already lost 4 players: quarterback Jalen Hurts, Lane Hatcher, defensive back Kyrie McDonald, offensive lineman Richie Pettibon via transfer. Meanwhile, receiver Xavier Marks and long snapper Scott Meyer remain in the transfer portal. Although Saban almost lost a prize piece in sophomore outside linebacker Iyabi Anoma, who entered his name into the database before removing it the next day. Now, the transfer portal, that's going to shake up college football. It's already shaking up college football, right? And it's getting to the point where a lot of these high-profile college prospects are transferring out, and they're not even going to have to sit out a year because they're claiming hardship. Now, it hasn't worked for a couple guys, but it has for others. You look at Justin Fields transferring from Georgia to Ohio State, dipping out and claims hardship, boom, instantly eligible. What is this going to do for the top-level programs at college football? You look at Iyabi Anoma, that's a great case, right? 5-star linebacker, didn't get as much playing time maybe as he wanted during his freshman year. It's confusing. You're away from home. He wanted to be back with his grandma. Mike Locksley, someone who was probably close to, he wanted to maybe go back, check out Maryland. Who knows what was going to happen? Now Saban has to deal with that. Saban has to deal with these guys transferring out of the program because of the Ncaa transfer portal. Yes, players have been transferring for a long time, but the Ncaa transfer portal is a new element that is going to be tough for these top-level college football coaches to deal with. Continuing from Tsoukalas' article on BamaInsider.com. Look, whatever the rules are, that's just what we have to live with, Saban said last week. So we're just hopeful we do a good job for our players and they stay committed to our program and doing the things that they need to do to be successful. Hopefully, we're not putting the decision-making process in the wrong people's hands too much. I think commitments are important to being successful, whether you commit to a process that's going to help you do the thing you want to accomplish, the vision that you have, and have the discipline to execute it. Sometimes those things are tough. I think if we make it to where these guys have an easy way out, there's not always going to be the best benefit for them. That was Nick Saban. Yeah, the Ncaa transfer portal is going to be tough for a lot of people to deal with, especially Nick Saban. We're continuing to break down a couple excerpts from Tony Tsoukalas' latest 19 for 19 piece, Can Anything Slow Nick Saban Down? My name is Kyle Henderson at BamaInsider.com. If you want to read the full article, go to BamaInsider.com, sign up for the free 30 days at checkout. The promo code is simply Roll Tide. Now, the third factor that Tsoukalas brings up in his article, which could be something that stops Nick Saban, is simply Dabo Swinney. Could Dabo be the next man up? Be someone who takes Nick Saban's place as the king of college football? I know a lot of people already feel like he has, but maybe we should slow down on that, right? What Swinney's done, as I've said many times, is incredible. Clemson's here. They're not arriving. They're here. Alabama's been here, right? I think Georgia is still the team that's climbing, but Clemson's clearly here. Another excerpt from Tsoukalas' article. Say what you will about the thought of Clemson usurping Alabama as college football's top team, a topic which has come up quite a bit lately. However, there's a narrative beginning to settle in. On one side, you have Dabo Swinney, a happy-go-lucky head coach that has risen to prominence while maintaining coaching continuity and seemingly positive working atmosphere. On the other hand, you have Saban, whose rigid process, who's rubbed off assistants at an alarming rate. It's interesting to think about, right? I mean, what has maintained these assistants at Clemson and what has ran off these assistants at Alabama? All right. This is a good quote, and this is coming from Paul Feinbaum. I don't think there's really a tremendous amount of debate that Clemson right now has the best program in America. That's from Paul Feinbaum. That's what he said during his radio show. It is past Alabama in terms of appeal, showroom value, and upward mobility. A lot of this is because Saban's age, and a lot of this is because Clemson is a lot more fun to go play at than the University of Alabama. That's a powerful statement from Mr. Feinbaum, right? Is he blowing smoke, trying to get the ratings in? Of course he is. But he also brings up a good point. I mean, is Clemson a place where you can not only go and win championships and have fun, and do a lot of these players feel at Alabama that they can't have fun? I mean, I think of Jalen Hurts during his spring game with Oklahoma, right? He scores that touchdown, starts dancing in the end zone, and then afterwards he said that he couldn't do that at Alabama because he'd be in trouble. Does that mean that there's lack of discipline at these places like Clemson and Oklahoma? Does it mean there's too much discipline at Alabama? I have no idea. Different coaching styles, right? But I guarantee you this. Nick Saban knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing with the first team players. He knows what he's doing with the second team. He knows what he's doing with the incoming freshmen. It's called trust the process. He's been doing it for many, many years. And while those places might be a little bit more fun to go play at, yeah, it might be fun to slide down the slide at Clemson. It might be fun to dance in the end zone. I'll tell you what Nick Saban's been able to do from a team level has never been done before. And what he's been able to do with sending players to the NFL draft, to the first round of the NFL draft, has never been done before. He's doing this at an elite level, and that's why he is considered the GOAT. Now, there's many things that could slow down Saban, but in my opinion, the only thing that can slow down Saban is Father Time himself. To read the complete article, Can Anything Slow Down Nick Saban?, head on over to BamaInsider.com, subscribe, read the full article in depth. Tony Tuscaloosa is an excellent writer, and we definitely want a chance to earn your business with you getting a premium subscription at BamaInsider.com. This is Kyle Henderson checking in on May 13th. I hope you're having a great summer. I'll be back again. We'll talk more Alabama football right here on our YouTube channel. Signing off from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Kyle Henderson, BamaInsider.com.